Michael, first off, Lewis Montsma, any update on him?
No, not really, Rob, to be fair. I mean, obviously there's a lot of swelling in the knee, and until that swelling comes down drastically, then there's actually no point in actually getting him scanned, because he won't get a true reflection of how bad the knee is. So I think the idea over the next few days is to try and sort of compress and get the swelling out of the knee, and then once the physios are able to do that, then obviously we'll get a truer picture by having a scan.
I know you talked at the weekend about trying to bring in a defender. Is that going to happen before tomorrow, or are you going to just be left short for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we'll be sort of left to the group that we've got for tomorrow. There's an opportunity or potential that we could bring Max Melbourne back into the fold to sort of be a big part of the squad. But I mean, that's, even if that's the case and he does come back for the rest of the season, I'd still want to sort of bring another defender in it if possible, because obviously, it looks like it's going to be a longer term point of view. Obviously, we've got Adam Jackson, who will come back into the fold soon, but knowing that he's obviously had 2 concussions, if he has one more, I'm guessing that's his season done as well. So I'm mindful of that. So we just got to be really careful and make sure that we try and give ourselves the best opportunity of making sure that we don't fall short again, because the reality is we're in the position we are at the minute because we haven't had enough numbers to cover certain positions.
Did everybody else come through okay?
Pretty much. I mean, obviously, Lewis Fiorini had a very, very sore shin, obviously from the tackle, from the sending off. Clearly, a few sort of aching bodies. Obviously, Morgan, it's his first game for a while, first competitive game for a while, and Scully as well. Obviously, he's not played a full or near enough 90 minutes for a long, long time as well. So we've just got to manage them, get them sort of prepared over the next probably month or so, maybe even 2 months, and make sure that we don't do too much in between the games.
Watching the Sunderland game on Saturday, there's certainly got a lot of attacking threat and a lot of creativity. How do you go about stopping that tomorrow?
Hopefully in the same mindset as we did on Saturday. I looked at the Oxford game, and in the build up to the game, we watched a lot of their games and sort of areas of the field where we felt they could hurt us, and a lot of that was certainly in their front 5 on Saturday. They're an outstanding team, and said that they're the benchmark that I think that we need to get to over the coming years, and I've got no doubt we will. But yeah, you look at Sunderland, and it's a little bit of a different type of game. They'll be a lot more direct than what Oxford were. And when you've got someone like Stewart up top, who for me leads the line as well as any player in this division. He's a big physical presence, but he's got soft feet as well. He can deal with the ball. He's technically good for his size, and obviously the third goal he scored on Saturday sort of typifies his game.
Do you think they've improved from the team you beat in the playoffs?
They certainly look more. Listen, and this is me speaking as an outsider. It's just they look like more of a unit, if that makes sense. Like they've got sort of one purpose, and clearly they look all motivated to try and get promoted and get out of the league, which I'm sure most people think they will. But they look like they've got a real cohesion about them at the minute, and people know their roles within the team, and it's going to be a very, very difficult game because one, they're obviously playing well and they've got some talented players who are clearly performing at the minute, but you've got the crowd as well as a factor. I can't remember. I'm sure you were there for the second leg, and it was only 10,000 there, and it was bloody loud on the day, and obviously it shocked our players in that first half. Luckily, we got ourselves together and brought it back round in the second half, but we might not be able to get away with doing that tomorrow night, Rob. We have to make sure we stay strong early doors, and if we do concede the first goal, we can't sort of let it disappoint us too much and go and concede the second or the third, or the game will be gone.
Wonderful. Thank you, mate.
Yeah.
Cheers, Rob. Mark Wiley.
Morning, Michael.
What am I?
With Max Melbourne, is that a possibility for tomorrow? If you can get him
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
How's he been doing at Stevenage?
Not great. It wasn't even in the squad on Saturday. I know they've had a change of managers, etc. So listen, he's been in and out of the team, Mark, and he's had a couple of good spells, and obviously then you can't really affect it if you're not in the team. So look, and I mean this with the greatest respect. Obviously, we're bringing Max back, or we'll try and. Listen, it'll be good for him whether he plays or gets any minutes for us anyway, for him to sort of regroup himself and think about, his future sort of going forward. But I think we can't like I say, we can't bring Max back thinking and expecting him to be the answer over a long period of time if that's what we need.
Yeah, because I think you said when he went out on loan that it would be a view to a permanent move away from the club. So
yeah.
So you're looking for another centre half as well as that as well. So I guess you've got lists of people who may be available in various positions.
Yeah, I mean we have, because we're aware of players who are going to be available now and players who are going to be available in the summer, as you'd expect. And sometimes ones that are available in the summer, are easier to do sometimes than the supposedly ones that are available now, because if they're not getting in at their club as it stands now, sometimes it's an opportunity to get those players off the wage bill of that club, and gives the likes of us the opportunity to give them some minutes.
I guess your biggest problem tomorrow is at right back, because you've got Regan and TJ can play in the middle. I mean, are you considering playing Teddy from the start on the right, or one of your left backs at right back?
Well, yeah, it could be anything, couldn't it? I think first and foremost we regroup this morning, make sure that we haven't got any more sort of knocks and anything like that I'm not aware of that from yesterday, and and sort of almost put a side together that we think is really, really capable of going up to Sunderland and getting the points. And I think from an attacking point of view, having Anthony Scully back and obviously Morgan on either side of the flanks, I think straight away you've seen the potential that we have got as a group if we can defend well enough. But to defend well enough, you need numbers and you need defenders. So, let's wait and see. I think I ain't got many options, but I've got one or two that, might be able to help us out on the night.
Yeah, I'll bring my boots. Obviously, at least you've got versatile players back there with Regan and TJ playing in a couple of different positions. I mean, it shows how important that is, doesn't it?
Yeah, and listen, I thought Lewis was playing really, really well before he come off, and the likes of him and Regan set the tone for the game, how competitive they were. And then obviously TJ sort of followed that up anyway, because TJ was playing very, very well at fullback, as we know, before he went inside. And fought TJ and Regan, and Regan, since going into the centre half position, I think he's been outstanding. Really, I think his performances have been superb, and certainly he was well aided on Saturday with TJ. So if it is those two that we choose to sort of partner again, they're going to have to perform again on Tuesday night, because like I say, the front line they're going to come up against is going to be a challenge.
Just finally from me, have you got to the point yet where you're talking about new contracts with players yet for the summer, or is it a bit early?
No. I mean, there's a couple of sort of tentative conversations that have took place, but because there's so many sort of games coming up, I think you'll find with players as well, they want to sort of focus on the games as well. And if they're in a good place and they're playing reasonably well and the game's coming thick and fast, it's easy sometimes to get distracted from what you're trying to do on the pitch.